A routine emergency. I called the hospital and was taken in for an operation. When I had made up my mind to call the hospital, I was taken in for an operation. When I had made up my mind and reached the telephone, I called the hospital. After lying on my bed, fully dressed for 2 hours on a sunny afternoon, with pains in my stomach, I called the hospital. After going upstairs in bewilderment and lying on my bed in increasing pain for 2 hours, I called the hospital. After wondering and wondering how serious it really was, after fainting in the bathroom, I went to the telephone. After recalling repeatedly that tomorrow I was to catch the plane, after telling myself how awful it would be if anything happened now, after praying to God to help me, after saying aloud, "No, I don't want to go to hospital," after crying and saying shit and fuck at the top of my voice again and again, I went to the phone. After crying with pain and vexation, after vomiting 3 times, after fainting and reviving on the bathroom linoleum, I managed to get downstairs to the phone. And after the 9 had taken an age each time to turn back, I spoke to the operator. I spoke to the hospital. I gave my address, holding onto a chair, and I waited. After I had called the hospital, when I felt a little easier, sitting in the chair, they arrived and took me away at once for the operation. When they took me away, they carried me through our front garden in the sunlight on a stretcher for the operation. When they took me away, it was about 6 p.m. The traffic was heavy. I was sick. I had diarrhea. The pain in my stomach was unbearable. I screamed. They gave me an injection as they took me away for the operation. I was taken away and stood up, held up in white rooms in agony for the operation. I said, "I'm sorry to be a nuisance." I was sick on the floor. I fell before they put me to sleep with an injection for the operation. They took me to hospital and operated, and I was a hospital patient. They operated, I was a patient in bed, with curtains and tubes, and calling nurse, nurse, till the nurse came. I was a patient in bed. I did everything the ward sister told me. I used a bedpan. I was a patient in bed. I read Ernest Hemingway for the first time. My relations brought me grapes, and I was quite a new person. After the operation, I played drafts and snakes and ladders. I sat in my dressing gown with others in dressing gowns, and we made jokes about bedpans, and we sang hymns one Sunday, and I was quite a new person. I am still quite a new person, though less so. I called the hospital and was taken in for an operation.